Yay, thank you so much, Trouble. We are in the middle of the rerun of Winter Split, guys. It continues with the Mad Lions Sky win against GX. Alvaro, thank you so much for joining us. Any first impressions after this series? How do you feel?
I mean, I will say maybe a bit stressed, but actually no, because we kind of believe that we are the better team. So no matter what was the enemy, we could win the game. And I think this game, for example, we prove it. That even it was not the best early game. We were a bit shaky, I think. And then it was like they had 3 Drakes. It was like a pretty hard game to close.
Yeah.
But I think because we were confident, we can turn it.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. I know the position you're in, right? At the very least, it's relatable even in solo queue. When the enemy team is on 3 Drakes for 15 minutes, it is not a nice position to be in, right? So who's really, you know, keeping you guys in there in terms of morale? Is there anyone in particular you'd like to shout on your teammates?
I think it's overall everyone, because we are stepping up mentally. Like, for example, this split mostly, when we are coming to playoffs, I think what we are working is mental. Because for me, we already work what we could. Of course, we can improve things like mechanically or like macro, micro. But I think in playoffs, the best team is the one that keeps the mental on a good state. Yep. And I think, for example, Javi is doing, like Eljoya, is doing a good job because he's leading us as a team. But I think everyone is also taking like their own ideas in the game, and everyone is like proposing things. So I think everyone is keeping track of the game.
I have to say, coming in today's series, I was not expecting this from Mad Lions. Not thinking of the results or anything, but like the drafts, the way you guys play in game, your strength in the game, the early games that usually you guys display. What was different in both the approach you brought in draft and the way this developed into your gameplay afterwards?
First game, we kind of, I mean, we played the Rakan into Nautilus. I think this matchup, for example, if you play decent, like, it's not a problem. I ran it down, like I entered on level 2. And then the game, it was a bit of a snowball because we were like less strong in the skirmishes. And I think we were not conscious enough that we were less strong and we were just trying to fight. And then coming into the next draft, basically they picked the Rakan first. I just go with the Nautilus. I want to have the tools to engage, and we also want Eljoya on some engage. And basically I think after that, the second game was like pretty solid, and third game, it's a bit of comfort, but we were also thinking that maybe they were going to do the Chaya Rakan. So we just wanted to make sure that they couldn't take it, and in the end they just went for the Alistar pick, and I think we had like a really decent draft. We can play front to back, and when Sivir gets 3 items, we are stronger than the 30, and we can hit the front lane.
Yeah, I have to say, I think you guys, I'm surprised with today as well, just like Laure was saying. I remember one game you were 1-2-3ing, I believe it was Zeri Rakan, which is quite a lot of scaling, right? I feel like you guys have some of the best early game in the league, and you didn't really lean into today as much as before, potentially, maybe alongside Vitality as the best early game in the league. But then come mid-game, some things just tend to happen. You get picked a little bit. I remember the Blast Cone moving, getting picked. I was a little bit worried today if you played scaling, you didn't get those early leads, and then you got to mid-game without an early lead, you would also then throw. Was this anything in your back of your mind? Do you think you need to depend on early game leads?
I mean, it's always on the back of your mind because maybe you can throw it or you know, like you start behind. And I think it's also that important to say that because we are training mentally, I think no one is kind of like losing the focus. And for me, I will tell you, like, I think we are the best team in early game. And for example, when we were playing into G2, we saw it. I think today we were not playing like really good, I would say, micro mechanically. And I think that's what kind of like was the difference. If you see, for example, the stats that some people like we were the top 2 teams in gold ahead, and the last split we were not that ahead. But I think it's kind of like being more disciplined, because even if we are ahead in gold, we need to still finish the game. And I think, for example, we were working as well on the mid game and the skirmishes. And this game, for example, I think we can be proud because I think we were fighting way better even from behind. So.
You said that after game 1, you run it down. It was not a good game. How do you reset mentally after having a bad performance? How difficult it is, especially in a series when you know that you're going to get eliminated? Tell me about the mental process.
I mean, I just started laughing. We kind of say that we were all running it down. Like, I think Eljoya also was saying it. I think Mirwin, me as well. Super troll a fight on the Drake, so we were just making a bit of jokes. I think it's important to keep up like the good attitude, because in the game, if you, for example, hear our voice comms, we are just permanently laughing or like saying things. Of course, if there is like some moments that is a bit more tense, we need to like shut up and play. But I think it's also important, and outside of the game, like we were really confident and we were conscious that we are the better team. But then after the first game, we were still knowing that we are the better team, we just need to show it. And I think, for example, today, you can see it, we didn't play well. And I think this is kind of like the start of the lower bracket run that we always do. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you guys can make it?
I mean, for me, I'm already used to go lower bracket because when I was in LVP, in Superliga, I was always like finishing 3rd or 5th or like 6th. And I was going through the lower bracket winning 3-0. So it's kind of like our confidence zone, and it's just a bit of a do or die. So we are even more hype.
I'm always wondering, we're going to talk about the bracket a bit later here, but I'm always wondering what makes some teams and some players thrive more in this stressful situation, especially when you, I don't want to say lack experience because I know that you guys don't want to be framed like this, but you know, this ability to come back LEC playoffs, your second playoffs, in clutch games like this, thriving under pressure. How do you?
I think it's what I said before. I think it's really important, like mental state. For example, there are some teams in screens that, you know, like they start 0-8 in kills and they just want to FF or remake. For example, even if we are starting 0-8 or is the worst game possible, we just keep on playing the game because can happen everything. And for example, I think you are showing to the enemy that you are lower, kind of like mentally level. And I think, for example, it's something that we do, that no matter what, no matter the consequence, we just keep playing. And for example, it's something that we are able to do now that we were not able before, that is come back in games even from behind.
Yeah, and I think it really showed today, especially in that third game, you know, down so many dragons, and then you have to find continuous picks inside lane, praying that you can find Odoamne, for example, on those picks. You didn't have the best of series, unfortunately, but yeah, that's how you made it happen. So I could really see your mental being tested there.
Yeah. For example, when they are already on 3 drakes, we try to do the play on top lane on the tier 2. I think Joja was calling, yeah, let's do it. I'm saying, but they can TP. Then, for example, they started TPing, and we say, okay, we can kill the tower and then leave. They actually TP, and we just get commit on us. And I think at that moment, everyone just took a breath in and, just keep playing the game and enjoy it.
So I have one just general question. It's not related to anything like this, but it's helping me understand your team better, right? You guys often will just pivot to a draft sometimes, which has absolutely no front line. It's like quadruple carries.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, quadruple carries, and it makes no sense to my little pea brain. Is the whole idea of that draft, we make one pick at 20 minutes and we have 4 DPS champions like an insta one-shot on Ashe?
So, for example, what you are saying, we did it with Rakan, that I was the only engaged. Yeah. You know the thing that I think if you are good enough, you can pull out these things.
Yeah.
I think you need to be really disciplined, you need to have a lot of discipline to do it. And for example, some games we are just losing it. But I think, for example, can work because imagine I'm playing the Rakan. I remember in Fnatic we were playing, that was like a 50-minute game that we lost in the first playoffs when we lost 0-2. In that game, for example, if I do it a bit better with the flanks, I think you can still pull it out. And for example, before we were doing it with the Ivern Varus, and the Varus was DPS, and he was like a really tanky. And basically, we were sending Daisy and Varus as frontline. Yeah. So it's a bit of a not what everyone plays, but I think you can make it work if you play it well.
But it makes you unique, and I think that's really interesting.
I've
never seen anyone really play something like that. That's why I wanted to ask about it.
And I do think it shows for the confidence that you guys carry, and something that you guys had actually beginning in Winter. But when I look at the series you played today, a bit of a different style, showing different strength. It looks like the same run you had in Winter, but how different are you compared in Winter? How much of a different team you are?
I think we improve, especially. I think mentally we improve a lot, but I will say also we are kind of like a better team. Like before, I think we were depending a bit on individualities. Like, for example, someone does a pick or someone does a really good play. I think now, for example, we are moving way better as a team. It was not enough the other day into G2 still because they were playing better with the silence. But I think we are on the right track. Yeah. And I think it's kind of showing, not today the best, but I think in the scrims it's showing up. So I think we just need to keep going on the daily, day by day, and at least we have another chance now to keep trying on the scrims.
Do you remember the interview we had at the end of Winter?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that you felt really, really sad back then, and you guys managed to come back here in spring from a difficult regular season, honestly, looking stronger and stronger game after game here in playoffs. When you think about the emotions you felt back then when you were defeated by G2 Esports, what can you draw from this experience that's going to allow you to take it to the end next time?
I mean, I remember that I also said it in the interview, that I think, for example, you can take it in a different way. For example, you can lose and just be sad or like, oh, the world end it. But I think, for example, it's really important if you take it as a challenge. And I think, for example, everyone in the team, when we are playing into G2, is like kind of a problem because, for example, when we lost in the official, like in the regular split, we started going down because I think we really wanted to prove or we really wanted to win them. Like we had a lot of, I don't know how to say the word, like the urge to win them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, I think that kind of like didn't let us see everything, like the big part. For me, I think I improve a lot in general. After playing into them, it's kind of like how I need to deal with my emotions.
Okay.
And I just want to go final endgame and destroy them.
Yeah. I just have one more thing. I'm really, really interested in this because I think it was a pop quiz or something like this. You were talking about who you watch internationally, you know, assuming you go to MSI. Is there anyone you particularly want to play against? Because I remember it was On, I think, or was it Missing? I can't remember
it was
which
On
one.
as well.
Do you look up to him a lot? Would you want to play against him?
I mean, I think I look even more to Keria because I think he's the number one. But I think On, for example, is like a really good player, and I think he's showing already in BLG. I think they are destroying LPL. But for me, I think I just want to kind of like play into Keria. Like I want to go MSI already to test myself into the Asian teams, and you know, like I think you can improve a lot on the first weeks that you play the MSI. And of course, right now on the state that we are not able to, like, I don't know the chances, no, because you never know. Someone can have a bad day, but I think, for example, it's like a really good chance that you can prove into them, and that's why I want to go MSI to see as well.
I was really hoping that he would take Area. I love this player, and I feel like you would be the type of player who doesn't shy away from taking him on his field and his kind of champions. But that's a story for later, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and take a look at the bracket that we have, as we have changes from Winter finally. TH for Heretics here. So the next series we're gonna have is gonna be on Saturday, lower bracket round 2, G2 versus BDS on a Sunday, of course, and Monday, lower bracket semifinals. When you look at the matchups here, Aragon, what are we looking forward to?
In terms of the G2
Reruns
versus BDS,
or,
I think the meta's kind of culminated into something that BDS really, really likes. I think Azir being enabled helps them a lot. You also have the crit ADCs that Ice was absolutely spamming, which are much stronger now, and being able to play front to back is probably the best they're gonna get versus G2. So that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for example, BDS is doing great. Like, I think it's right now, I would say maybe after G2 is like the strongest team. I'm not counting myself. But I think, for example, what they do well is they play well as a team. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, you know, like, I think they had an easier bracket because I think, for example, the bracket that we had up was a bit harder. But I think, for example, right now is the time to prove it and to test. And I think, for example, we have the same bracket than before. We play Giant X in the loser bracket, then we play Vitality, and most likely I think we will play Fnatic because they will win Team Heretics. And then we will probably face BDS because I think they will lose into G2.
Yeah, I will say, last time this happened in Winter, G2 absolutely broke the BDS front to back, the third Drake stacking, with all the side laning they did, with the Azir as well. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes if it's just a repeat.
I'm really excited, both for the games that we saw in Winter, but also for the new matchups we're going to get. But that's a story for next week. Thank you also for joining us in the mega week here. Alvaro, always amazing talking to you and seeing your progress. Aragon, smashing it as usual. And we will see you next week on Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Which is respectable, but now Spyro going to push back onto Niski. Knock up there from Dosh. Clean flash out from Spyro. Now he's going to get the kill! Oh, we knew he was good at control mages. Apparently, Niski didn't. Niski wants to keep going for the push. Wonder there to body block, but the house! Look. Look, go. Here he's able to hit Yangos just in time, and look at that Zeri damage. But he flashes from Isma! It's an epic betrayal! No!
Nice. Illegal. Yeah, one more we go script, guys.
One more day.
Yes.
I'm running. Wait,
We're winning.
I'm gonna help. Oh. How does it look? Oh shit, you're smurfing.
Look at Aatrox. No flash, Jarvan.
What the f even happened? I don't know what happened, but good job.
Oh, nice.
So
Look at Aatrox. I think.
holy f. Oh my god, GX, baby.
There underneath the tower. Odo needs to be careful here, though. No flash. Moving back in, wants to heal, wants to dash through. First blood.
I TP both way.
Totally.
Shield.
The flash is being missing. Ulti going in. Double TP. Triple TP. Quadra TP. Wizard Season 8. Everybody coming down for the 5v5.
I'm out, guys. I'm out. I'm out.
Look, ready. Look, is it? I can. Control. Okay, go now.
MDK are moving on. Giant X are getting sent home.